Hello everyone, I'm Ruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded vehicles from the GTA Online Mercenaries DLC in terms of lap time and top speed. This video lists all vehicles added on day 1 of the Mercenaries DLC. For any drip feed cars added after that, other classes of cars because I've tested them all, and all the information you need about this series, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So obviously starting with the Clique Wagon, which becomes the new slowest car in the muscle class for top speed, and it's also 61st out of 71 for lap time. It's about 13 seconds per lap slower than the regular Clique, which of course you can't buy anymore. When it comes to the Walton, it's your standard off-road truck in terms of pace, nothing really to write home about 14th and 15th in the off-roads class for lap time and top speed respectively. Off-roads is a fairly small and widespread class, so it's nothing special really. Next up we've got the Monstrosity, and something to note about this is that you do need the window panel modification, which is at the bottom of the menu in Los Santos Customs. You do need to apply that for maximum performance because it adds traction like a spoiler, as we've seen with other weird modifications in various cars over the years. So you need that, and you also need the lowest suspension option, which is the case for all of the cars in this video apart from the one that we're going to see next, which is another off-roader and only just ahead of the Monstrosity, the Ratel. So both the Ratel and the Monstrosity, their lap times are very close and they're not going to do much in off-road races because the gaps between the cars at the top of the off-road class are so big. So even though they're in 5th and 6th places respectively, they're still quite far away from the top vehicles in terms of lap time and top speed. The Ratel itself is basically just a quicker version of the trophy truck, about half a second quicker in terms of lap time and then maybe 6 to 7 mile per hour quicker in terms of top speed. Next up we've got the Italy GTO Stinger TT, which has got to be one of the more stupid names of a vehicle in the game, but its non-HSW version is a pretty competent sports car. It's the 6th quickest for top speed with a very decent 132 mile per hour, that would also put it 3rd quickest without HSW cars, and it's the 18th quickest for lap time in what is a huge sports class now of 100 cars, so that's actually pretty respectable and pretty decent for a regular car. But we do still have 2 HSW vehicles to go, and first up is the Monstrosity. This is the first HSW car for the off-road class, and it does what HSW cars have done so often before and completely demolish the class. With a 1 minute 0.3 lap time, if this thing was in the sports class, it would only be beaten by 3 cars out of the 100. It's absolutely incredible how fast this is. But we've still got 1 HSW vehicle to go. The HSW version of the Stinger TT, it's the most expensive sports car in the game now at a whopping $3.8 million when factoring in the purchase price of the car itself and the cost of the HSW upgrade. And there's a reason Rockstar felt they could charge that much, as it becomes the new quickest sports car in the game for both lap time and top speed. With a top speed of 168.5 miles per hour, it's not only the quickest sports car, it's the quickest land vehicle overall, and it sits in 14th place across all vehicles in the game when taking into account helicopters and planes, which is actually remarkable. This thing has a higher top speed than planes like the Volatile and the Alkonost, and it has more than 10 mile per hour of advantage over the previous best highest top speed car of the Vigero ZX. It's absolutely insane. What you give up for that top speed though is control. This isn't going to be the car that you'll be wanting to use to dodge and weave around traffic in free roam. You see, for lap time, while it's only the 3rd sports car to ever break the 1 minute barrier, it ends up only less than a 10th quicker than the regular Italy GTO, and it's not the easiest to extract a lap time from. Neither is the regular Italy GTO, to be fair. The HSW S95 is probably the safest option of the top 3, but you know, for the majority of the lap you can actually see that the Stinger TT falls behind the regular GTO until the 2 final straights where it makes all the time back up. It's definitely one of those cars where the slower the lap looks, the quicker it is, as the traction sort of struggles to cope with the huge straight line speed. And there's certainly going to be tracks and instances where both the HSW S95 and the regular Italy GTO will be quicker than this in a certain race situation, but either way it's right up there in the top tier, and that top speed doesn't hurt it at all. And before we finish, I just want to revisit the monstrosity because this sort of comparison between it and the Stinger TT will kind of hammer home how good the monstrosity is, and kind of also show you how the Stinger TT is being held back by its bad traction. It's not bad, it's just not on the the top level. The monstrosity, as you can see, is actually ahead for most of the lap, which is amazing for an off-road vehicle. And again, it's because it's got incredible cornering grip, the monstrosity, and the HSW upgrade sort of gives it enough top speed to put a great lap time on the board. It's got pretty long braking distances as well, so it's actually a fun little car to race with. But obviously, if HSW is disabled or you're on PC or old gen, the monstrosity isn't going to be the top. That's still the Draga for lap time and the Vagrant for top speed in the off-road class, and the Italy GTO, the regular version for sports. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of amazing that an off-road vehicle is only just over a second slower than the quickest sports car. And as you saw, they were pretty evenly matched until the final straights. I think if you had the monstrosity's grip paired with the Stinger TT's top speed, you'd have a car that would probably be quicker than the 55-second lap time that the top HSW supercars can get. But those are the two main vehicles, I guess, from this DLC. We've got a brand new number one in off-road and in sports as well for both lap time and top speed, and they're both HSW vehicles. So you're only going to be experiencing that if you're on PS5 or Xbox Series X. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. I will be testing all of the other vehicles from the DLC, including the planes and helicopters and things, and all the drip feed stuff when it releases. So stay subscribed and all that kind of stuff, and feel free to check out YouTube memberships and Patreon support if you want those as soon as possible when they're done. And one final thing just to mention is the reason that the Italy GTO's lap time was slightly different to what you might be used to in terms of the lap time that I published before and what's on GTAcars.net and stuff. That's a result of me going back through and retesting a lot of these cars. I'd already retested the Italy GTO. That's its new lap time, and we're going to be seeing new lap times for all of the cars in the game in the 2024 specific videos, as I've talked about in the last few testing videos. So feel free to check those out if you want the full details. But ultimately, there's going to be a brand new series of testing videos coming in 2024 for every class, and it will have all the cars fully tested, newly tested on the expanded and enhanced versions of the game. So again, you can keep an eye out for those for when they arrive, but yeah, that'll be at the start of 2024. So yeah, I figured I would include the proper new lap time for the Italy GTO for the comparison here, especially because they're so close. A little bit of a spoiler for the 2024 sports cars video, I suppose, but who knows, we might get something that's even quicker between now and then. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you all for being here, and let me know all your thoughts about these cars down below in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, and I'll see you next time.